Hey guys, Andrea. So I know a few of you guys will drop in and out of the stream, but welcome. So guys, craft updates. First thing is I'm starting to do my cornices as well. So guys, time for a hard chat. Guys, um guys, really hoping to get 100 followers by Christmas or even earlier. Because, guys, I would love to make this full time. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm really aiming for that. So that's the thing. There's a lot that I've discovered I'm talking about in the disability space that a lot of others aren't. So I'm talking about consent. I'm talking about existing in online spaces, about self-diagnosis and the harm, about accountability. I know there's a lot of other creators who do it over on TikTok, but I don't think anyone has thought about the long form content, or they say YouTube is dying. I don't think it's dying. I think it's becoming more professional. Like TikTok, I might actually have to delete it because of some contract work. But all of, whether you're incognito or not, all of our online traffic is tracked as well. So, and guys, other places that you can follow me. This is becoming really important for my Facebook page because I'm in the monetization program now. Is if you can let people know that I do have a Facebook page. So it's Little Annie, because I apparently can't go live over there anymore, like unless I'm using StreamYard or another streaming thing, and that to me just seems odd as well. So, Deb and I are recording some After Dark topics, so we're going to be talking about consent, when good intentions harm, because a lot of people have got really good intentions around disability, but the way that they carry them out, let's give them an A for effort but an E for execution. Because if you don't have a good understanding of disability culture, and support, and you try to intervene with, especially someone with behaviours of concern or difficult and challenging behaviour or sensory issues, they're out in public with support, they could end up having, it could be more harm than good. So it really is a challenging situation that we need to consider. That's the thing. This is where I am unfortunately going to need to call out support workers, and I don't like calling out companies unless they're on the news or a current affair. I just don't have the backup as well. Don't have essentially the education. Over on the Substack, going to be doing like and I've realised, I was watching the ABC Breakfast this morning. There's some really good research being done by a graduate student at Columbia University into men's mental health and online spaces. This person was saying that she couldn't find any good men's role model in the online spaces. I can immediately think of 5. I've done a TikTok on it. Yeah, they're not everyone's cup of tea. Then I realised what these people have in common. They're all teaching media literacy and critical thinking in their own ways. So, first person thought of, Dr. Jordan Peterson. Second one I thought of, Friendly Jordies. And Friendly Jordies, I don't condone some of his behaviour, but guys, he is seriously on the money with Australian politics as well. Then I thought about AJ from the White Files. Like, he does a lot of debunking and critical thinking through decoding mysteries, moon landings. Latest one was The Dark Side of the Moon. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to him, go and check him out. Then the next one I thought about, and again, these people are not everyone's cup of tea, but if you're looking for good online role models, they're at least a starting point. And it's quite funny, I find it quite funny that our National Broadcasting Corporation was saying that some of these people, they didn't name them, but they were saying that men can end up in echo chambers. And I thought, particularly with Jordan Peterson, there's a reason that Reddit's 4chan and 8kun call him the Savage Messiah. He's giving young men, particularly, something to aim at, cutting through all the noise, the diversity noise, the gender noise, the diversity noise, and the white guilt noise as well. Because the stats on men's mental health is horrific. Then the next person I thought of, Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. Again, not everyone's cup of tea, but very educated people and disciplined people in their own way. And I realised that ABC is afraid to mention these people because it's an acknowledgement that they are losing control of the media landscape and the narrative as well, which is a scary thought. But when you realise that anyone with a laptop can set up a YouTube channel, some are more critical, educational than others. So it's a really interesting thing to do. Then the other person I thought about is Nurse John. Guys, I'm definitely not going to go into the controversy. Guys, because the content creator's personal life is none of our bloody business. How would you feel if someone assumed something about you and you quietly corrected them and they essentially wanted to cancel you or make your life very difficult because of it? This is where I see Eminem coming back. It's a good thing because a lot of the younger generation who have grown up with woke culture, DEI, white guilt narrative, that silences violence. Well, have you really seen real political violence? Have you sat down and read the history book? So that's the thing. So then the next thing, guys, is what's happening with the channel. Well, I'm putting some more time and effort into the podcast, so I'll only be posting once a week, but it will be longer form content as well. So and more in depth. So a bit of media literacy is one that I'm working on. Some books, and I know I've been promising this one since the start of the year, but disability historical figures. There are people that I'm like, if you want to be a disability advocate, you need to know about these people. So both contemporary and historic. Helen Keller. And people are saying, oh, but she was a communist. She was a product of her times. Yes. Then, guys, Emily Pankhurst. If you call yourself a feminist, you need to read about Emily Pankhurst as well. Then, guys, I don't agree with everything she says, but to seeing points of view from the other side is Judith Butler. Then contemporary people with disabilities, the late great Stella Young. If you don't know her history and how she fought for disability rights and the NDIS in Australia, need to put some effort into learning about these people. Then I'll do a shout out to some other disabled content creators. Guys, the big one I'm going to say at the moment, because she is recovering from a medical event and could really use the money to pay off medical debts, is Footless Joe. Then I love Amy Cole. I love Jessica Kelgrad Frozan, though her focus on LGBT content is not my cup of tea. Not homophobic or LGBT stuff, but I'm like, okay, here we go again, because let's cut through the noise. The LGBTQI community, they've got the right to marry, the right to adopt, the right to have children. I'm like, guys, what more do you want? And then I realised with the new class of activists coming through, particularly uni educated, it was never about equal rights, it's about power. If you're LGBTQI, I wish you all the best, but this is again when good intentions harm. So if you're forcing gender identity, pronouns, and consent speech, you're not making yourself any favours. Just as I had to learn that seeing everything through the lens of disability and activism was not doing me any favours. So guys, I'll give it till 11:30. So to be meeting with my support coordinator, but I that high functioning, unless it's an absolute emergency. She and I have a understanding that when it happens, it'll happen, for the simple reason that you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. This is something that I try to carry out throughout my life when interacting with doctors and medical staff. With support workers, I'm a bit different. I'm like, no, you are paid to be here on time. But medical staff, deliveries, community nursing. I haven't had to use community nursing for a while, thank God. But basically, anyone who is working with people who are more vulnerable than myself, I work from home. I can alter my day, and I try not to be that demanding client as well. that can be a challenge. I've heard people say that that's a fairly refreshing view to have, because the entitlement that's creeping through into my generation, because until the pandemic, we had it so bloody easy. We didn't have to have the we didn't survive through World War II. We didn't survive through I think I was born just at the end, 1994, so just at the end of the Cuban Missile Crisis. So it wasn't really until the pandemic hit that my generation was like, oh, yeah, we need to take accountability. This is where I'm seeing this generation that's coming through uni and stuff like that. It's really funny seeing them try and call out people on social media, TikTok, Rumble, YouTube, trying to get them cancelled, isn't really working, for the simple reason people have realised that do your homework. They've realised that there is activism campaigns, that the people running these campaigns are making money off it. Which, yeah, like, fair enough, everyone deserves to make a living. But when you're making money off protesting, yeah, I really, if your heart's in the right place, it's a good registered NGO that you're working with, fair enough. But organisations that are corrupt, that aren't doing the right thing, that aren't improving the lives of those who they say to improve, why are we giving them a dime? Or those Christian-based organisations who put conditions on them helping. I can understand conditions in a homeless shelter, in a soup kitchen. I can understand that because it's public order, it's hygiene, it's manners. And it's also accountability as well. But there has to be limits and grace and understanding. I don't want, I believe religion is like genitals. It's okay to have them, but just don't force them down the throat in public. So guys, I've heard Deb's car upstairs. I will head off. Guys, we'll be doing my second live of the week on Saturday, not Sunday, because I have a event on Sunday as well. So guys, see ya.